It's all on if you want, or however you want to go.
You're now live.
Okay. Good evening, people. How are we? We're finally got on here after a few little things. You'll find that we're actually tonight, folks. We are on float.app. We are streaming to Guru TV, Land Down Under on YouTube, and we are going through Mel's Facebook onto my Stop the Rock page, and I think onto my Dave Graham page. So we may also be on Kangaroo, you people might know out there. So we've had a few issues getting onto some Facebook pages. But anyway, that's what we're going to have, people, from now on in. If you think this is going to get easy to do and you think that this is going to get any better, I've got a bit of news for you. So with us tonight again, we've got Lisa and Jamie. And folks, tonight what we want to do, hi guys, how are you from England?
Amazing.
Amazing, yeah. Lockdown, no food on the shop shelves, no jab, no floating around town doing whatever you want to do because you're...
Well, you're not actually technically locked down, but you might as well.
Yeah. You may as well be if you haven't had the double miracle. Yeah. And that's what's coming our way, folks. I can assure you. So what we're going to do tonight is we're just going to try and hit you with some truths, folks, and just give you a bit of logical basis on just how effective a face diaper may be. Because, as you know, I've told you before, we have a particular lady within our staff on Real Media who is, how many court cases could you give me an idea? Dear Lisa, you want to take over there? Or just she hasn't lost one, so do you know what she's been through?
She's done several court cases and she's not lost a single one. And she is an industrial hygienist, along with she does quite a lot of work with Tammy Clark, and they are kicking arse over in America. Mm-hmm. And if people have been unfairly dismissed or they're putting these mandates in place when there's no need, they are winning all over the country.
So again, if you doubt what we're saying, this has come from a person who's actually winning court cases, even against judges and
to put it into perspective, an industrial hygienist is actually the person that trains your doctors on the proper use of PPE. So they're the ones that are the experts in PPE, how to use them properly, what their uses are in any environment, and they know what they're talking about.
They've taken on political leaders and things like that, and actually won. So just the source we're getting them, and we're basically going to prove it ourselves anyway here today.
Well, we're basically going to make an
argument. The people are going to.
He's not. He's got me and Jamie to do it for him. But we're going to make an arse of ourselves live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on Float to prove to you that they're ridiculous.
They are.
So we've also got someone else coming in tonight. I'll just bring him in and introduce him. He was on the other night with me. Craig, g'day, mate. How you going up there? He's Craig's up in the Newcastle area, folks. He's just gone under lockdown, and we're just going to sit you in the back for a minute, Craig, before we bring in and talk, because we just want to introduce a bit of stuff that we're going to do in the first part here. You can obviously watch the show from the back there, mate. But Lisa and Jamie are going to do something. Then we're going to come on and have a talk about your friend Craig and just what the percentages are in the last 6 months of actually suicide, mate. It's a wild jump. It's a wild jump, fella. It's unbelievable, and it is shocking what this government is doing to our fellow folk, and how people are just not handling.
Up, Dave, you're breaking up big time, mate.
Okay, I'll drop you out, and we'll see how we go. So just sit back there for a 2 secs, Craig. All right, so Craig's just lost a friend, 40-year-old, 2 children, a wife, lost his job during this pandemic, and the poor guy's gone and taken his life, mate.
And unfortunately, common story at the moment, isn't it?
It's it's happening so often all over the world. And what I think, what was the percentage you said earlier? 180, is it?
184% in 6 months. The suicide rate has gone up. We had last Monday, so yeah, tomorrow, a week back, all right, we had the highest amount of calls to Lifeline ever made, right, to the adolescent, right, one. I'm sure it was just the adolescent one, and it was something like 3,000 and something calls in one day.
It's scary.
So just, you know, yeah, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So we're gonna just touch on that, folks. It's not a great topic for me, but we need to talk about it, and we need to touch on that. So I'm going to hand over to Lisa and Jamie now, and they're just going to show you a little bit of something about these face diapers, and we just want to work out now. We're talking in microns here, folks, and I'm trying to look for the information. Kristen and Megan has it, and if we don't get it on tonight's live, I will certainly back this up with those facts. But it's about the size of the actual micron of the so-called, well, no, it's not so-called, sorry, the influenza bug, all right, because I can call it that because that's exactly what it is, and we don't get nailed for that word at the moment. We're probably going to get taken off if we start using that soon. But as of yet, they haven't got that one into an algorithm. So the influenza bug versus the size of the hole in the mask, okay, in this type of like measurement that they're using is something like, don't quote me, but it's between 50 and 100 times bigger, the hole, than what the actual virus particle, right? Oh, fuck, I shouldn't say that word. The influenza particle would be. So again, it just proves to you that what they're trying to do to you, and Lisa and Jamie are going to take over now. I'm going to let Lisa have the controls, and I'm going in the background, and they're just going to show you exactly just how well, and Jamie's got a bit of information on these masks. And so I'll sit in the background, have a coffee, and have a look at these two twats from England, show you exactly what's going on, because that's all that's happening, people. We're all being twats, you know, wearing these things around. Okay, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So take it away, guys. I'll leave it with you. I'll jump out.
Right, probably better doing it like this, so you can get a better look at the ridiculous arse of ourselves we're going to make a point, basically. Shall we do it together, or should you go first?
Well, we'll just discuss a couple of things first, and then we'll take one go at a turn. Right. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking about the mask, as we just said. Now, some people think, well, why is it important arguing against the mask? Well, why we're arguing against the mask is because we know it's ineffective. We don't just think it's ineffective. We know it's ineffective. We could prove that. Also, you get criticised, well, just put them, other people don't wear a mask because they've got phobias. It's just like, if you couldn't go into a shop and buy your goods because you had to hold a tarantula while you were getting served, you wouldn't do it if you had got arachnophobia.
I certainly wouldn't.
So this is no different. And there's medical reasons, there's personal reasons, and they shouldn't have to disclose to people. However, this is where we're at now. First point I'd like to make about these masks is, first of all, the biggest argument I see is, well, if masks don't work, or they're ineffective, should we say, why do surgeons use them? Well, that's quite simple, right? Surgeons don't wear them to stop their patient getting a cold or flu, right? Because first of all, by rights, if a surgeon has a cold or flu, they shouldn't actually attend work, right? So that's the first point. What the actual reason why their masks work is for not passing or transmitting big particles. They're hanging over their patient doing a long, hard operation on somebody. They're going to be sweating. They're going to need to cough. They're going to be speaking to their assistant, asking for tools and equipment and things like that. So they don't want to cross-contaminate the wound or the area to affect it. So that's where that's different, right? So that shows you that. Now, as we've looked in the past, if you only got to go back to old newsreels and everything, and what you'll notice is actually these experts that tells us to wear and try and mandate, they actually told us in the beginning and intermittently, to be honest, that they're not effective. They tell you that they're not effective, but because they want to push their agenda. It's a fear tactic. That's what these masks are for. They're a visual aid to everyone to hide behind the mask and be worried about wearing these masks because that looks like protection, but it's not. And we'll go.
It doesn't. It looks ridiculous, really.
Anyway.
But and also, if you look at we've said this several times. I don't know if I've said it on one of Guru's broadcasts, but I've definitely said it on Real Deal Media. China has been wearing these things on their faces for at least 2 decades because of pollution, and all your epidemics, your SARS, all your viruses. That I've said V word. Yeah. I'm very sorry, Guru. All your little sniffles have come out of China. Regardless of the fact that they've all been walking around for 20 years with this on, and it didn't help. And we're going to show you right now why and how it doesn't help. Can you pass me the zeolite, Jamie?
Yeah.
This.
Oh, did you got to smooth first?
I've got 2.
Right.
This is a standard fabric face diaper. Yeah, we're all quite familiar with those, aren't we? And Jamie has got one of the lovely blue medical ones.
Right, now I like to point out, when I go to my hospital, which you've got to wear a mask, I go in with my own mask, which I bought originally when this all first happened, because again, we all drank the Kool-Aid at the start, or most of us did, even though I know where, or I believe I know where this thing happened, etc. But I did get a mask. When I go to the hospital, they forced me to take my own mask, which is got filters and everything off,
and they put one of these on.
And they give me one of these, which is your standard
China
mask, been done on the floor. We've got videos of that where they've been done on the floor. They've got flies and roaches running around. But,
very hygienic and medically safe.
And also, this stuff has got sort of harmful chemical. It's
basically like breathing in something very similar to asbestos. So this is what we're going to use for this experiment is zeolite powder. You don't have to use zeolite powder, but whatever. We're going to basically.
Why I chose that because
it's a bit thicker than.
That's for health. So if we inhale a little bit,
it's not going to do us much damage inhaling it because it's good for you.
And it's an off-white as well, so
you'll
be able to.
Can you hold that, Jamie, for a minute, just there?
Yeah.
Like under your hand there, on the screen, so people can see what I'm doing.
Well, I can't. I can't get.
All right, do it on your screen then.
Yeah.
God, we're so organised. Right.
Right.
I'm going to just basically put some zeolite powder in the mask. That's probably far too much, and I'm going to look. Yeah, whatever.
Right.
So there you go. Far too much, but I've put some zeolite powder inside the mask. Jamie's going to do the same with the China mask.
Now this has got the nose grip, which they say to use. Get the ones with the nose grip so it grips round firmly. I'm going to do that.
And then this is where it gets ridiculous. What we're going to do once we've got this powder inside the mask, we're going to put it on and we're going to breathe.
Yeah. And then you've got.
And we're going to look ridiculous.
What you've got to remember here is we may breathe a bit hard to do some of this demonstration. However, what you've got to consider is they're saying about coughing and sneezing. Well, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
You think of how much speed and pressure comes out of a sneeze and cough. Right.
Yeah.
We've got to try and get this up right.
We'll try and get it on without making a mess. I'm going to make a mess anyway. I'm trying not to spill my powder. Oh my God.
A bit too much.
Right.
Oh. Well,
I can't say. Yeah, as you can see, that stopped everything.
Now,
can I have the towel? I can't see.
You can't see that.
I can't see.
You can see against the lighting. You can see, you can see all of mine because of the lighting, but when I leant down, you could see it in the red.
Yeah,
and trust me.
I have just completely maced myself and I can't see, but as you
I'm absolutely covered in it.
I'm glad you were using zeolite, folks. And zeolite is one of the products we use to detox with, okay, to keep ourselves a little bit healthy and fit. So, yeah, don't do this. Don't do this experiment at home, folks. This is like the Professor Miller in the old days.
There is other experiments. It's like you can get like a sieve and get flour and some liquid and pour that through, like to demonstrate for the.
I've got so much zeolite in my eyes
the
right
virus, now. The mask, and the the mucus and things like that, and you can see straight away how that passes through.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to use
Be
that.
the waste.
It's just a
No, you don't have to use.
I recommend you don't use that.
That was just to show you how much it's stopping.
Now it's a shame that my lighting, because you got the set up for Lisa, really, but it comes out of area. It comes out the sides. It comes out the front.
And there's all the particles of the miracle all over me. Not the miracle, the bat thing all over me.
So that's true. Yeah, that doesn't work. You can do it with smoke, but again, the argument is that's smoke. It's not particles. So we've done that. But like I said,
I just point out that I can't see?
That's right. I come back on the screen just in case. Yeah, you were a bit out of action.
Like I said, you can do a demonstration using a sieve, some powder, and maybe some sauce or something, and that'll work. You just imagine that sieve is the mask, you know, zoomed up, etc. But
yeah, we're not finished. We've got another little bit to do. But
but the point of the exercise is here. The only way that you are going to get this mask, all right, to actually sit tightly around your face is to super glue the frigging thing down. Okay. And apart from that, even if you've done that, this mask is still not going to protect you from what they say is going to protect you from. It's as simple as that, because we have smaller particles.
I'm very sorry.
No, the other.
You're on mute, Jamie.
Yeah,
sorry, I forgot you were sharing the microphone. I'll be right back. I need to go and wash my face.
Okay, thanks, Lisa.
One of the other points to make is actually a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, we've said on our streams before, and we've had shows again with these experts talk about when you're picking a mask for this sort of things, you need at least an N95 mask. Now, N95 masks can be fabric, or they're usually them big respirator things, but you need them, and they've got filters, etc. on them. Now, we told you that weeks ago, and people were telling us, no, that's rubbish, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now, have you noticed in the mainstream, when they're talking about these variants, then they tell them to use an N95 for them type of strains. Now, that is rubbish, because you should have been using them for all of the strains, to be honest. But that proves that what we were saying then was true now, because the strain isn't going to make the difference in what type of mask you wear. Now, these N95 masks, they have to be fitted. You have to be checked and fitted by OSHA trained person. So they have to do a survey of the place you're wearing, the environment you're in, because if you've got ventilation, etc., that could change all that, the aspect, and they have to be fitted correctly. And different people, again, it's a health and safety issue on the person, because some people could wear one of them, and that could be doing them harm. That's again another thing to point out with these cloth masks. When you're wearing these and you're protecting yourself from a virus, let's just say you've got the virus, or you've got a virus, or you've got an illness, you've got this mask on, that's generating heat. What happens when you got germs and viruses and heat? They multiply. So you're actually making the whole situation worse.
You're going to see on this, because I used the black one on purpose, how much actually came right through the fabric.
There you go, folks. Look at that.
That's the inside where I put it all.
Again, I've got the blue one, so it's hard to
and that's the outside, and that's all come through where you were breathing.
There's powder all over the front of it.
So the point of the exercise is, like, my father has sleep apnea, folks. All right, and Dad's been up a lot of old people do now, older people. All right, and Dad has to go up there. He has to get this mask fitted to his face so it fits properly. It hasn't got one leak, you know what I mean? So that he can get a good night's sleep and get the oxygen rate that he needs into himself to do. So, the point that we're making here is, folks, we got people walking around with face diapers with gaps everywhere, and we're not telling you what to do, right? What we are doing on this show is that we are showing you facts and putting out maybe our opinions, the three of us on this screen, but that's all they are. They are our opinions, and they are backed up with fact, which is what we always do, okay? Go on, Lisa. It looks like you want to say something.
I would recommend, if anybody wants to try this at home, use goggles.
Yeah,
use goggles.
You fuck off.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I didn't think this through. I really didn't. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can
All
say-
right. So do you want to do the smoke one, Jamie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So I might put you two back in the background for a minute and just bring Craig in for 2 secs.
I'm
Okay.
gonna let him do it because I can't even see at the moment, so he can do both.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll drop you two guys out. I'll bring Craig in, and we'll just have a little chat here on this this topic. You guys can get ready for your next experiment. Craig, how are you, bud?
Good, Dave. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. As I said, sorry to hear about what happened, Craig, with your friend, mate. That's do you want to run us through what's happened there, mate? And
Yeah, I'll give you all the procedures. My mate I knew since birth. I've been mates for 45 years, and he had a job. He was a head of the 5-star restaurant. Anyway, they let him off 8 weeks ago due to the C word, and not being paid. And the government don't help you. You know what I mean? And he's got a beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids. They call me Uncle Craig, which means a lot to me.
Yeah.
His wife messaged me when I texted you, so a few hours ago, when he took his own life. His wife texted me tonight to ring message so the kids could talk to me.
Yeah.
So I rang up the police to see if I could get exemption to go to Sydney for his funeral.
Yeah.
They said we can't give you a exception unless you're family or wife or kids.
Yeah.
So there's no hope in the wide world I'm going to get to Sydney now to see my best mate go off. And she texted me if I could play a song for her and talk about him at the funeral on Zoom. So I said, not a problem in the world. Yeah, so anyway, I'll go on to the topic of Newcastle at the moment. They're still finding people who got the C word. These are all the places
just before
where...
you do, Craig, I'm just going to bring this up, mate, while you're sitting in there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is just a bit on because we just want to chat about this. Okay. Okay, so it was attempted, actually, suicide rate. So, you know, our attempted suicide rates among Victorian teenagers, right, up by 184% in the last 6 months.
God.
Kids, right? So this is the kids' helpline, all right? So, you know, we're not even talking about adults here, okay? We are talking about our freaking children, government. Are you hearing us?
It's a joke.
Okay. You guys make these decisions, all right? You politicians out there, have a look at this, man. How can you justify anything that creates something like this? You know, I've been through this. You know, this is a very, very touchy subject. I got to be very careful. Okay. But again, 3 days ago, okay, people don't even know this. I haven't even publicised it yet, and I'm not going to use any names. But a good mate of mine's son, about 22, 23-year-old, took his life. Okay, it wasn't from this lockdown, but it's beside the point. Okay, the point is it's suicide. Okay, and this rate here, people, is just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so if that doesn't want to, you know, start something in your gut to actually start and get onto your politicians, you know, and start and tell these people that we've had enough. Okay, we have actually had enough of them causing this sort of bullshit in our society. Okay, so yeah, it's certainly time to stand up, folks. So I'll bring that back out of there. I just wanted to show you that, and that's just Victoria. Okay, God knows what the Australian one is. Maybe someone could look that up in the audience. I don't know, and yeah, Cheryl or anyone that might be watching, you could have a look at that and just let me know what the actual Australian rate is, because yeah, that's just Victoria. Okay, and they haven't been in lockdown again for as long as us, Craig. You know, they went in last year pretty hard when we didn't. This time we've gone in hard. They've just been thrown back in, and now you guys have joined the mix, and we'll get onto that topic now. So you guys are joined in on the little lockdown holiday, mate, and what's going on? Tell me.
Yeah, I'd like to know how many adults have passed away from this as well, because the kids is extremely a big amount. Just Victoria, I'd like to know what New South Wales is, because so many people are taking their lives from this bullshit. I want to walk into government and just say my point. This is bullshit, because we're losing lives because of this C stupid thing. When, like you said, it's a flu. It's you know, it's not going to kill you if you don't, you know, if you just be sensible. We've got a 10K restriction on us now. You know, I mean, I can still work with my electric law main business because it's essential, like you do with your concreting. But you want to go to the shops. Well, I got workers to go to look up the disability people, and they get checked twice on the way here. They've got a certificate to say they're working at this company, otherwise they fight them. It's a joke. It's absolutely a joke.
And we're only at work under a pretend thing anyway. You know, like we can't have any more than 5 workers on one site. We can't have multiple trades. So if I'm there concrete and we can't have electricians working there inside the house while I'm working outside the house, you know. So yeah, they've told us, and we've got police driving around the street, keeping their eye on us tradies on what we're doing, you know, ready to jump out of their car and whack us with $1,000 fine. And whoever the boss is, like if it was me and the boys, and we were next to people and we weren't wearing masks, the boys are going to cop $1,000 each. I'm going to cop $5,000. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, like getting out of hand, mate.
I've had to go.
How's your shop up there,
Yep, I totally agree because I've had to work by myself now because of the restrictions now. And we're only 10K, that's it. And they're trying to bring it to 5K. So I hope to go around this on Thursday night. But at the moment, I don't think we're going to get out of it. But I'll just name a few places up our way, Lisa and Jamie and everyone else around Australia. Our restrictions now, City of Cessnock, Lake Macquarie, Dungog Shire, Maitland, Muswellbrook Shire, Newcastle, Port Stephens, Singleton, Gallagher International House, Annie Block University of Newcastle, Gallagher Able 2 soccer matches, Charlestown Shopping Square is still closed, Charlestown Shopping Centre, Glendale Shopping Centre, Target or Target, Maryland Ampol Station, Newcastle Hotel, New Lambton High Street Hospital and ED now is under threat, Shortland 7-Eleven, Toronto Ampol Service Station, Hamilton, Jasmine Medical Centre, Priceline Jasmine and Thornton Jump In and Swim. They're all like black band to go there. This is how much of a joke it's getting. Like all up our area now, they reckon it's spreading like wildfire. I just think it's a joke.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've just been asked by one of my mates just while we're on that other subject, Craig, and we'll let you off in a minute, mate. But while we're here, what's an alternative to lockdown?
Me, mate. I think people have got sensible. I don't believe them.
Well, I would like to
go on.
I'd like to answer this. So, what's an alternative to lockdowns? The alternative to the lockdown, Stephen, my good friend, would be a lockdown. The alternative is that we have a flu virus because we have nobody in the world, as in the top virologists, okay, and we're going to have a look at this later on the show, okay? I've got some stuff on this in the second half of the show where nobody in the world, okay, can actually isolate and this is, I got to watch what I say, the SARS-2 COVID-19, okay? That particular thing. No, look at me freeze up after I friggin' say that. Yeah. Right, so nobody can isolate this thing in the world, okay? And that's a proven fact, all right, because they just had a lawsuit done in Canada, okay, where the guy's beaten them. I'm taking them to court in a couple of weeks on the same basis and the same ground, and I'm very, very confident that I will win that, okay? We've had a win in Ireland, okay? And it's because our health departments cannot produce, right, the bug that we're looking for. So if they can't produce the bug that we're looking for, the original, how in the hell can they sell us a variant? They can't sell us a variant if the thing that the variant's coming from does not exist. Okay, so the idea, Stephen, to answer your question, mate, is we forget lockdowns. Okay, we get back out in the general population. Okay, we are talking about a flu influenza with a survival rate of 99.98, and it's plus that actually. It's 99.99 if you really want to get technical, but let's give you a 98, so we've got a little bit of leeway in there for you. Okay, survival rate. Now, if you go, and I can pull some stuff up here, everybody that is passing away, all right, and I hate using the word dying because I've had death in my family, okay? So for everybody that has passed, okay, if you flick down through, I was looking like yesterday, they're all people in their 80s, 90s, 70s, okay? We get back down to some 60s and that. that, and the other. But again, I'm talking about an adverse effects register that I'm looking at. Okay, so these people have been marked down with COV death, but actually they've had the miracle. Okay, and this is where VAERS and the TGA and that play their little games, mate, you know, with the numbers and stuff like that. So, look, Craig, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you calling in. And, again, condolences to the family and to yourself, mate. You know, that's a good mate of X amount, 40, you know, odd years that you've had there and you've lost, you know, due to this, you know, just tyrannical government is all I'm going to say at this present time. So, thanks, mate. We'll talk to you again soon. We'll have you back on, Craig, and we'll keep an update of what's happening up there in Newcastle, mate. Our hearts go out.
Yeah, thanks you too, David, your mate too. It's so hard to listen good friends from all this bullshit. And Steve, yeah, Dave's quite correct. We can go out there. Like David, my cousin's down the beach the other day, mate. Go and enjoy yourselves. I just can't understand why they go find every bastard.
Well, the thing is, if we, you know, like most of us are going to get over it, and I'm going to show you tonight too that ivermectin, okay, and hydroxychloroquine. I don't care. I'm just going to mention them words now because I don't give two shits about it, okay? But I'm going to show you tonight that for under $1 a day, mate, you can protect yourself from this thing, okay? It is a flu. A flu is going to take out people, okay? But sorry, people, our death rates haven't changed up until now when we started to get out the second jab, okay, and the first jab. Okay, that's when our death rates started to come up. Before that, our death rates had not changed, and I can give you statistical facts on that, folks. Okay, so Jamie wants to come in and say something. So, Craig, I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Hang on, mate. Hang on. I've got something to add. Shane Warne, our famous Australian cricket player with his old flipper. Yeah, he got both his shots. Now he's very, very ill. So work it out. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's just one point of one high person who had both his shots. Supposed to be the V word, right? Yeah. But it says it works, like you're saying, Dave, and Stephen and Jamie Lesser. Who knows if this works? We don't. They've got no cure for it yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? Same as cancer, no cure.
I can tell you a few things that will do to you, but we've discussed that once or twice.
Discussed it, yeah. That's right.
All right, bud. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon, Lisa and Jamie. See you soon, guys. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'll just bring my two little pommy friends back in.
Can you see the state of my eye? Look.
Yeah, I hate. Yeah, look how red they are. You like your stone, Lisa, and I know you don't even smoke, mate. Yeah, unbelievable. How are you, Jamie? All right? You get through it?
Not too bad. I'd like to make a comment about that question about the lockdowns. First of all, what's the alternative? Right. Let's before we get to the question of what's the alternative to lockdowns, let's look at the effectiveness of lockdowns, just like the masks, right? Again, we've had this experiment. We've been doing this since that started, and here in the UK, we went on full lockdown straight away. Nobody went to work. Everything closed down. You couldn't go to you couldn't even go to the shops. You had to have things delivered. Obviously, the only people work in emergencies. We did the lockdown, full lockdown. Guess what? It didn't work. Right? It didn't work because people are still going to get the cold, right? Because it's been tampered with. That's what I believe. It's cold that's been enhanced. That's it, right? Yeah. Now, going to the figures that we were saying about if you go, all you've got to do your own research, because we can do it. We can do it for you. People ask in the comments, be like, oh, it's going to take us forever. You can go watch old videos. And
it's not hard. It's really not hard.
Yeah, but you go back and see all the rates in the previous years. All of a sudden, nobody's died of the cold or complications from the cold. Because let's be honest, a lot of people who apparently get this and die, they die from complications or associated with. It's not. They don't actually suffer with that in most cases. I'm not saying that doesn't happen occasionally, because it's going to happen to everyone. But you notice, you only got to go back to the last few years, and you'll see that all of a sudden, these last 2 years, nobody's ever died of the common cold or the flu. Yeah. Is that suspicious?
Well, it's even more suspicious that they're now saying that this winter's going to be terrible in the UK for the flu. Yeah. The flu that was eradicated last winter. And why is that? What's different this year? Oh,
exactly.
People have went and had 2 shots.
Yeah. Now, as for the lockdowns, obviously that proves that don't work. It hasn't worked so far. Now the only reason why they're going on, like people go, oh, we'll just go have your thing and end this lockdown. That's not going to end the lockdown. It's proven that, and you've had the first one that didn't end the lockdowns. You had the second one. We've had lockdowns. I mean, that's not the answer.
Lockdown, social distance, mask.
Yeah.
Maybe
stop working.
Maybe herd
immunity. And if you think in Australia here, folks, that you are coming out of lockdown, I got some bad news for you. All right, I was talking on both the little lives I've done today. Okay, we are not coming out of lockdown. All right, until enough people wake up and stand up about this thing. Okay, that's it. You know what I mean? And start getting onto our politicians, doing the sort of things that you need to do. Right? There's no one coming to save us, folks. Okay, there's people in the background. I've told you that with a little bit of intel on that. But listen, they're doing nothing until we do something for ourselves. Okay, and I am talking here about lobbying your politicians and doing things right. I'm not talking about anything else. I have to be very careful about what I'm doing on these podcasts at this present time, because I keep getting the police or detectives turning up at my door trying to accuse me of doing things that, they say are in violation of our our health code. Okay, so I hope showing that masks don't work is not part of our health code. I might have a knock on the door in a minute, Lisa.
It's showing that they're effective. That's just it's a science experiment.
If this worked and stopped all of these particles.
Yep.
Why are my eyes in the state that they're in?
Yeah.
Look at this. You see the gaps here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in effect.
There's gaps here.
Right. I'd like to
also, it didn't just come out of the gaps; it comes straight through.
Right. There's a meme going about on social media I've seen lately, and that's actually true. Right. It's a bit of fun, but it's actually true. You look at the different jobs people do in society and the type of masks they have to wear. You've got spray painters wearing the N95 with the plastic ones with the 2-foot big massive filters on. You see the people in other environments, smoke got this big glass, the helmet with a big glass visor, and it's all isolated. You have these other jobs, and yet for apparently the most deadliest thing in the world, we get given them.
Yeah.
So it's ludicrousy. It was just absolutely, Again, I'm not saying that they may not help a little bit, but I don't think they're not effective at all.
There was an article out today. They're actually saying today that when they run out of Greek letters, of which there is 24, when they run out of Greek letters, they're going to start naming the variants after stars.
Yeah.
We're in trouble, folks.
Stars in the universe.
Yeah.
They're planning years and years ahead. This is never going to. I put a big rant on Facebook about it because it's just.
We showed you. Yeah, we showed you the other week, folks, the rollout on the years. You know what I mean, and the names of the variants, what they're bringing out throughout this year. They've already publicised it, like the rocket.
I was actually going to read my rant on Facebook to you, but I can't see. So maybe Guru will read it for me.
I will.
Yeah. But now again, the point out, because Marva says they're hammering the N95. Yes, they are. And why they're pushing that now is because they were doubting us before when we said, like I said earlier. But why they're pushing it? Because they've got the plan of saying these variants and us lot who don't want to get are causing the issue. So now you've got to up your mask. That's what, because they know that these are crap and they can't continue their lie on this because it's obvious. The same as the lockdown. So neither of them are effective enough, so that's why we're seeing they're admitting now that you've got to get the N95 or higher. But again, other jobs. But that's it.
You just what you want the smoke thing and
no, I don't think.
Do that smoke thing, and I've just got.
Well, we're going to do powder and then do smoke to show that even smaller particles will come through it as well. So
okay, so Stephen just asked, do I wear a mask on the workplace David? No, I don't, Stephen. Well, look at that, Jamie. Far out, man. So I don't wear a mask. I will put one of those things that Jamie's just blowing that smoke through when I'm cutting concrete. Okay, we do have better ones. I do have proper ones with, for the boys, because by OH&S we're supposed to wear a big one with a double filter on it, the big like pig face thing.
Exactly. and that's particles getting in because they're shaped also.
Exactly.
You're wearing them and they're domed. They're hard plastic. They're sort of like
that's right. And they fit your face, and they got two straps, one up here. They got a headpiece on them, so they pull tight around your head. But yeah, that's the only type of mask that I actually wear at work, Acco, is if I got to cut some concrete dry, mate, that's what I will do. If we are throwing around dust on a hot day, you know what I mean, throwing cracker dust around, you know, we have some of those paper masks that we might occasionally whack on for 5 minutes while we're filling barrows because it's better than sucking in the dust, you know, which is a very thick dust. Okay, you can see it. It all congregates on the outside of the mask. You know what I mean? So we're talking about a molecule that is a lot bigger than what our little influenza bug is. So
Jamie and I are both coming from a teaching background, and I'm actually like a furniture designer / maker, and Jamie done like a craft design technology with the students, and we're completely trained and having young children in a workshop setting. And if we give these to children to go into a workshop to cut MDF or to go on a sander, we'd get our arse sued off us.
Exactly.
It's insufficient.
Yeah.
It's completely insufficient.
Yeah.
If we give this to one of your children in a school that was doing woodwork, we would be sued and fired.
Well,
we would lose our job because it is not going to stop these particles.
Again, that's all you've got to do, because I don't know what it is, but some people just can't seem to see it, right, and don't understand, or they believe in all this sort of thing works, but it doesn't. All you've got to do, I mean, it's a simple thing. You ain't got to be super intelligent. I certainly ain't. All I do is reflect on life. Look at life. What we're doing, compare with what you do in the real world, the jobs you do, the things the PPE you get issued and wear for them situations. Again, that tells you that they're insufficient. Yeah, that's it. That's a simple task to do. Do experiments yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're right, mate. You're right. No, I love the passion, mate, because we know, you know, like we're sitting here and we know, you know, and we're doing this for, like you say, we're not getting paid to be doing this. We're not getting anything out of this, folks. What we are getting is a bit of satisfaction in our soul if we can wake up another person to the fact that you are being duped by the government, okay, and by a world.
Yeah, we're being called names and being accused of misinformation, disinformation, but we're proving it.
Sorry.
It's in the history of, all you've got to go back, you've got to see things going in the real world, and you'll see that ours make more sense than theirs. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's it.
We've done it for you, we've told you, we've shown you examples. As plain as day.
Yeah. If I had a contagious illness and I had that on what I just done a little while ago and breathed all over you, like just say you're in a shop behind the checkout and I'm just standing there paying you, I can tell you right now, the amount of powder that is all over my desk, that you would have just been infected by whatever I had.
It's all over my keyboard.
It's all over my keyboard, it's all over my monitor, it's everywhere. Yeah. It's going to take me ages to clean it all up. Once I can properly see it all, I will get to that. But if you were in a shop and I was just standing there at the checkout, you've got whatever I've got. I've not got anything now because although the media want to tell you that you're guilty, aka sick, until proven otherwise, I know that I'm perfectly fine. I'm a bit blind at the moment, but I'm fine.
I've got an immune disease and I'm all right. I'd assume now if I've got it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get, and this is it.
Jamie's actually got no immune system because he takes medications to shut his immune system down. So, and it's like, what? How many months are we into this now?
Well,
20 months.
Yeah.
20 months in, he's never had it.
Yeah.
With no immune system.
I'm not saying I'm not going to get it, but I've got the confidence of the immune system that God gave me to protect me.
That's exactly right. And that's what I was about to say to Steve. You know, the best thing we can do, people, this is just a flu virus and a bad one, right? The best thing we can do is, like the old chicken pox parties when you were young, is everyone just get back to normal, get back to doing what we're doing, okay? If you catch it, you have a few products that will help you get over it quite quickly, okay? And I've got a couple of video clips on that we're going to play. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to move into Stu Peters, right? Because this guy, like I've told you, okay, this guy breaks nothing but the latest stuff on what's going on, all right? Our show does the same thing, but this guy here just nails it every time, folks, okay? So I just want you to sit back, because what we're trying to do tonight is just give you enough information for you to people to just maybe twig your imagination to say, shit, are these people really like, shit, that makes sense. Yes, go, Lisa.
I'm going to drop out, Guru, because I'm really struggling seeing at the moment. So I'm going to leave you and Jamie. I'd just like to say goodbye to everybody and send my condolences to Craig on his friend.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Lisa. We'll talk to you soon. Sorry about our experiment wrecking up your eyes. Go and have a shower.
Yeah, it was my own fault. I put too much powder in it. Twat.
Twat. Thank you. Okay. So I've got, are you coming over, Jamie, or what are we doing? Are you moving? Hang on. See what I'm doing here. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm removing Lisa and I'm adding Jamie. And I think I got us both in here. No, here he is. Okay, I got it. I found you. Yeah, it's all right, mate. We got you.
Gone off because we've accidentally hit the socket. So yeah.
Okay. Get rid of that one. There you go. I'm getting I'm all over it, mate. I'm starting to get this worked out, buddy. Okay, so just going to play a film clip here, folks. Okay, we're going to bring this in. Stick me and Jamie over here. I think this should be coming in.
I'm a little bit blurry because the light and everything I've just swapped. Yeah. So sorry about that.
Okay.
So,
this is Stu Peters, folks. Okay. So as I've said to you, this guy here, there's not many people that I will recommend. Okay, but this dude here is one of them. He is fighting like shit, man, for your survival in this world. Okay, this guy is unreal. So he's got a lady on here. I think I'm hoping I've got the right one. It's Jane Ruby, and a lot of people are going to go, oh, she's only a this and she's only a that. Look, she's a portrayer of news people, okay? She does have a doctor's degree in something, okay? She might not be a doctor or whatever you would like to call her, but I'm telling you, this lady is working off the facts of, like, top scientific people. She's just like me. She's a voice for the facts, okay, and for opinions. So we're just going to sit back. We'll just have a look at this for a minute, Jamie. And, yep. We'll put it up on full screen.
Breaking at redvoicemedia.com yesterday, Fauci admits antiviral treatments are effective if administered at an early stage of the virus. Huh. Because that sounds strikingly similar to what we have been screaming along with scientists and doctors since, March of 2020. Until we had our tongues cut out, of course, by big tech oligarchs. In typical Fauci fashion, as the lead carnival barker for Big Pharma, he will be suggesting now some brand new, expensive, patented Pfizer-Mectin or Moderna chloroquine.
That's a hello.
It's stunning that he's even admitting that early antiviral treatments are effective, considering the ongoing effort to vaccinate every man, woman, and child, rat, mouse, and breathing organism on the face of the planet. Now, we now know from a lot of experience with the care of these individuals that if you can keep that virus from going to the upper airway, to going down into the lung and other organ systems, you can change what could be a devastating disease and make it an upper airway common cold type approach. Who said that? Anthony Fauci said that. A common cold? Did he just say those words? A common cold. Has a common cold spurred global tyranny and overreaching draconian lockdowns and mask mandates globally? Has anyone isolated this virus? Well, it doesn't appear so. FOIA discovery from around the world has failed to actually produce a virus. So how can we even acknowledge something that can't be
according to a lot of experts, a lot of government admission across the globe, there is no virus other than a digital theoretical abstraction made on a computer from a genomic database. The virus, as we've been saying, has never been isolated, purified, sequenced, characterized, or proven to exist, right? I want to get into why this is coming to the forefront. As you mentioned, thousands of FOIA requests went out unbeknown to some of us late last year, early this year, and the results are coming in, and governments are they're admitting as we go here that this doesn't exist. Now, let me begin with a little bit of education. People have written to me and said, Dr. Jane, are you saying that, I wasn't sick last year? I mean, come on, look, something, there was a flu last year. But when we talk about SARS-CoV-2 and the characterization of it as something incredibly dangerous that justifies losing your businesses, damaging and hurting your children, just causing death and destruction across the planet, we better damn well have something that we can put our hands on. So we look to pre-existing standards, one of which is the Coke Postulates. 4 things are required before you know you have a virus. The first thing is that the microorganism should be identified in people who are affected with the illness, but it should not be identified in people that don't show any symptoms of the illness. The second postulate is that it has to be isolated from a diseased individual and then be able to multiply it in culture, okay, to show its replicability. The third part of Koch's postulates includes that when you introduce the organism that you've isolated into a healthy person, that isolate must cause disease. Otherwise, it's inoculated. The fourth postulate is the microorganism must then be re-isolated from the experimental host and found to be identical to the original microorganism. These are important because this has never been done with this virus. Let me just share some other information and facts. And I'm going to provide you with a lot of links to documentation for your website that buttresses everything I'm about to tell you.
All right, good. We'll put it all at stewpeters.tv. Everything that you say, every link you provide will be at stewpeters.tv.
Go and look this up, folks.
Know this stuff. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you. First of all, top Chinese scientists admitted that they never isolated the virus. That's one link that I'm going to send to you. Secondly, the CDC stated itself that there's no quantified isolate available. In fact, the link I'm going to send you from their website will say, and I quote, that they've been running PCR tests based not on actual viral isolate, in other words, an actual sample or specimen taken from an infected human, but rather, listen to this, Stu, stocks, I'm quoting, stocks of transcribed RNA taken from a gene bank to mimic the clinical specimen. I've been screaming about this for weeks relative to the Corman-Drosten paper that was the fake, if you remember, validation of the PCR test that the CDC now says has to be replaced because it's incompetent. No kidding. Well, in their paper where they claim to have validated it, you have to validate a tool, a diagnostic tool. In other words, you have to scientifically prove that it does identify what you are claiming it does, the illness, the disease, per se, and you also have to validate that it is doing it, we call it reliability, that it's doing it consistently every time you use the test. And in their article, they come out and admit that they used a what's called in silico, or computer simulated. These are, Stu, these are not based on organic materials. These are not based on anything that's ever been extrapolated from a human being who is ill with any kind of flu. So let me go on with this. The CDC admitted that they made a digital virus. Here's where the Frankenstein piece comes in. They admitted that they made a digital virus made from 30,000, I apologize, base pairs using 37 actual sample base pairs. But Stu, these are all simulations of configurations of these DNA sequences. In other words, they go on to say, in their own this article summary, it is a Frankenstein virus which has been concocted and stitched together using genomic database sequences, some viral, some not. It has never been properly purified and isolated so that it can be sequenced from end to end once derived from living tissue. Instead, it's just digitally assembled from a computer database. This computer-generated step constitutes scientific fraud on every level. Stu, we cannot have a specific test for something, for a virus, without knowing the components of that virus, right? And I want to go on to say, you can't justify a variant of something that you've never identified exists per se. So I just want to go on with a couple more.
Okay, I'm just going to stop that there, Jamie, and bring us back in because I can see that my screen is starting to. They don't like that. They don't like that clip, mate, and they don't like the URL that clip come from. They do not like Stu Peters.
No, they don't. You can't use sort of things like that, can you?
Yeah, nah. I get away with them. I get away with putting a few of them on Facebook, but now I do it, Jamie, is I put up the post and then I go to the comments and I copy and paste the URL into the comment.
Of course, we don't know what we're talking about, or we're talking misinformation yet. If it's such a joke, why is it a problem that we're sharing it? Why can't we have this discussion? If this is all real and they want us all to do the right thing and etc. in their opinion, why aren't we allowed to speak? Now, someone said about understanding what she was talking about. Stephen again said about if you can understand what she's saying, then you're way better than me, etc. I mean, I'd like to point out I ain't got a medical degree. I've had first aid training. I'd had St John's ambulance training, etc. But you don't need to understand everything. You don't need to understand all the jargon. It's the point making that, we know that it's not been isolated. It cannot isolate it. I can't do this. It's a virus. That covers a lot. I mean, even animals get them, and there's different variants, and that's all it is. That's what it actually essentially is. So
I'm no concreter. I'm no medical expert neither. Okay, I am just a concreter. Okay, but I have been watching and following this stuff enough, okay, to know exactly what Dr. Ruby is talking about. Now, folks, we've just given you some evidence there, and straight away, if you can understand what she's saying, then you're way better than me. Well, if you don't understand, okay, you can either wipe it off, okay, and go down the road and get your jab and, live happily ever after for the next maybe 1, 2, or 3 years. We're told that maybe not much longer than that, if that. Okay, so you can do that, or you could let this twig your conscience and go, okay, I don't understand it, so maybe I should just go back looking at a few more of Stu Peters' shows, from this link that they're going to put in the comment, and just go back and see if I can't pick up some information to educate myself on what that of a 120th or 322nd show of Stu Peters may be talking about. Now, you only need to go back a couple of weeks, and you only need to go back to my Stop the Rot page or back to Kangaroo, and you will find all these articles there. So again,
and there is information out there that's more easily to understand, more simple terms. Now, you're saying about not medically trained, but you're following these people who's telling you to wear these masks, and you ain't got you medically trained, but you understand that, and what the jargon that they use about the actual thing. I mean, it works both ways, and a good idea is to actually watch what Martha mentioned is Event 201. That was released just merely weeks before the October before this hit everything. Now, that was a playbook, step by step. They even called it a rehearsal. Now, they used the excuse of SARS for it, which was like 10 years before or something like that. I mean, you're not telling me it's not coincidence that they released that just merely weeks before it happened, and they used something what was years ago. They used the coronavirus as well. And the story is the same. It's a virus. I said the virus, and it was crossed from an animal. Again, the same. They used a pig instead of a bat. And again, it was said initially when this outbreak, it is not possible unless it's manually manipulated in a science. That and everyone said from day one, this is not possible. This is absolutely not possible. It's never happened before. Never, ever. So that proves that.
Exactly.
They say it came from somebody who had a meal somewhere in a market, even though they don't know who he was, but they knew what. That's rubbish. That's rubbish. It's time to wake up. Let's get it sorted. Let's face facts.
Can I just interrupt this broadcast for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. How you going?
Guru, I'm never doing an experiment for you again. The Hello Fresh man came, and I answered the door looking like a complete drug addict. white powder in my hair, My eyes were all red and bloodshot, and he was looking at me like, "What the hell?"
You left the drug squad on your door.
Powder all over our nose.
Now the
red eyes.
Hello Fresh man thinks I'm a drug addict. Thank you very much.
Oh, you gotta love it. All right, Jamie. Well, we've got a little one here, Jamie.
Yeah.
Let's just whack this out, all right? Because what we're trying to do tonight, as I said, is just putting out an opinion, buddy. You know, and I need people to go and check for their own. But this is only 3 minutes, folks. 2 minutes 52 seconds. So let's have a listen to this. Questions, please. Hang on.
I'm a
Guru.
pathologist. I run the largest independent medical lab in the state of Idaho and serve patients all around the nation. I'm grateful to be here to speak about science, not the science, because there's no such thing as the science. Science evolves. Science is exploring. Science is thinking. Science is proving, disproving. Well, this year we've had an interesting thing happen. We've started to inject something into humanity that we've never done before on a mass scale. And I know a lot of people are asking themselves, what are we injecting into each other? And why are we doing it without knowing the long-term outcomes? I know a lot of people have the questions, what are in these vials? What are in these needles? What are in these shots? You know what? A lot of us don't know. Now, I've examined some of them. I've looked at it, and a lot of the untoward things that you hear about and a little bit of the naysaying, some of those things aren't there. Does it glow? No. Are there little microchips? No. Are they magnetic? Well, it's interesting. A couple of jars are. Not all jars are either. So I would like to know why. But it's interesting. We should be asking why, what, and for how long we're going to keep doing this. We need journalists, investigative journalists, true journalists, not editorialists. We need investigative journalists saying, what are we putting into human bodies? I mean, these are chemicals, lipids, etc. we've never put into humanity before. Where are the scientists? Where are the toxicologists? Where are all the papers saying, this is what it is, and this is what we're doing? You know what we don't know? We don't know the long-term effects of these. And the interesting thing, too, now that we have a new variant, a new scariant moving around the world.
I like that.
Those who have already received the shots seem to be getting a lot of the variant, whereas those who have had the disease have natural immunity. And we know in science, not the science, that a natural broad immunity is much better than a brief vaccine immunity.
Amen, brother.
So my encouragement to all of us, I could speak for hours on this, but my encouragement is for us to start thinking, step away from what we're hearing in the narratives and actually delve in. And let's not put humanity at risk. And one more thing, as mandates are starting to happen and employers are threatening their employees for not being willing to be a subject in the largest experiment on humanity ever without informed consent, without knowledge of the long-term side effects, disease, death, fertility issues, cancer issues, autoimmune issues, it is time to step back and stop this. This is not science. This is tyranny with a needle. Let's stop.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again.
He's exactly right, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
he is,
again, we saw a lot of this initially, but that was all banned and removed, and these people got fired and things like that.
Well, again, and what he's saying, Jamie, is we need more people to come out and say this and that. The problem is, if you want to do your research, folks, you'll find that all these people have come out, mate, and they've been friggin' silenced, okay? Yeah. If they're silencing me, right, little old me, sitting in Corrimal, okay, just doing my stuff. Look, you got a cat behind you as well now.
Yeah, I've got payroll,
yeah. Do you think that they're going to let someone with the knowledge of the doctors that are trying to speak out, which are now, listen, people, you don't know what's going on, okay, but there's lawsuits and that happening now, folks, okay? Things are going on, okay? There's cracks in the there's cracks in the ware everywhere, mate. It's happening, you know?
People can deny it all they like, but you can find this stuff even now. It's been removed from a lot of people, and that's real qualified people talking real truth, not celebrity specialists. Again, they never back up. They always say, trust the science, follow the science, but they never tell you the science. They never tell you that what they're following. It's horse crap. That's what it is. It's absolute horse crap. They never prove anything. these people actually come up with documents. These people that you see here, they've come up with documents, facts. They take you into the lab, etc. And you can find that. It's harder to find at the moment, but you can find that. Trust me, it's there. You've just got to not be so bloody lazy and go look.
Exactly right. Exactly right. It is all there. So I had another little clip in here, and it seems to have gone missing. And it went missing the last time I put it in there, Jamie, actually. So, but anyway, we'll go to natural news for a minute. We'll just have a look. I think, yeah.
Well, I'm not Lisa, so I can't help you out.
No, that's all right. No worries. But hang on, let's just bring this little article here into play. We'll go up full screen. Leave you and me out for a minute, Jamie. But
yeah,
the Australian government. We'll put us in because people are just getting a few comments there that we're good looking. They like us, Jamie, with no girls on here, mate. So, yeah, it's good. Yeah, all right. So the Australian government threatens its own citizens. No freedom until you comply with vaccine shot quotas. Okay? So Western liberals continue to prove that they are no different than first, second or third world dictators and tyrants as they continue to politicise the pandemic to seize power. In the US, one Democrat-run city after another has begun to issue mandates that citizens must prove they have had the miracle jab, and if I keep reading on, it's going to tell you that they are not allowed to do this and they are not allowed to do that. I've looked at the article, but we'll just, my computer's a bit slow. Okay, so, yeah, here it is. Okay, so natural news. This is Mike Adams, people. If you want to know the truth, okay, you go to Mike Adams's Natural News, okay. And if you want to see how quick you can get banned off, you can't even do it actually. I was going to say, if you want to see how quick you can get banned off Facebook, go and share one of this guy's clips.
You're not allowed to. Yeah.
You're not even allowed to. Okay, as soon as you plonk that URL into the Facebook, mate, the algorithm just says this URL is forbidden. Okay, that's what it says, folks. Okay, now why? Okay, we have freedom of information, but so here we go. The vaccine, they aren't going to be allowed fully participate in society. Some kind of vaccine casts some privileged vaxxers versus unprivileged underclassed. Okay, so look, we told you what's coming, folks. If you've had this thing, okay, you're going to have some privileges, and you're going to be just like it is over there in England with Jamie now, mate. If you cower to what these people would like, you to do, you are going to have certain privileges. You're not going to have all your privileges, and soon enough, you're going to have no privileges again. No. Okay.
Well, to be honest, right, we're suffering at the moment, but you're going to suffer more, the people who's had these things, because it's going to take, like they said, they don't know about the long term. When I looked about my immune system and whether I could take it, and I was speaking to a nurse, and she said, "Oh, you're vulnerable. You need to take it." So I looked on that, and she said, "Don't listen to the why are you listening to doctors in America?" And I'm like, because it's a global pandemic, apparently. So that's why I'm listening to other people all around the world, hearing what they're saying. Now, if she told me to go to the NHS website to get their advice, the truth, the advice by the scientists, etc., I went there. Yeah. Now, if she told me to take it, that told me not to take it, because it says the evidence shows that it could be harmful, and there's insufficient evidence to say whether long-term effects or like that would interfere with your medication. So there you go. It tells you there. That's it. Yeah. So all the time, it's all about, let's be honest, it's mainly about profit. It's
all about profit, Jamie. Like we say, follow the money trail, mate. How much has Gatesy and that gone up, you know what I mean, in money since this actually thing come out, mate? Like,
look at all them when a certain person was, again, we'll reflect on America because it's a global issue. Let's be honest. You look at America, when somebody else was in power, they were saying, "Don't take it, don't trust it, don't have it."
Yeah.
How do you trust this? And then as soon as they got in power, they, take it. Now they sort of say, "Well, we made sure it's been tested correctly." No, they haven't, because they ain't gone back and retested it. Not in that short amount of time. That's rubbish.
And I think Lisa actually put a little clip together like that of did she? Or, it was her.
Yeah. Do you want to play that?
Yeah, you can, Lisa. That'd be great, mate. Let's have a look. So I'll just explain this while Lisa's bringing it in, folks. So what happened here was the Democrats, okay, when Mr. T was in power, you know, Mr. T said, "Oh, look, warp speed," you know what I mean? And he had to do something in the playbook, folks. If he had sat back and done nothing, but we're not going to go into that conversation right now, okay? But what the Democrats were saying, you're seeing this little clip that Lisa's magically put together here, is that all the Democrats are going, "Oh, would you trust it? Would you do this? Would you do that?"
That proves their lies.
Yeah, now we've got
American public about taking the vaccine, and they should be.
We can't trust the president.
Yeah, sorry, Dave.
That's all right. Who's got control, me or Lisa?
Me. She
okay. All right. I'll keep my hands off things, righto. So let's have a listen to this, folks.
Yeah. I didn't actually put this one together. I got sent it by Andy. So.
Oh, righto.
So
cool.
thanks, Andy.
Thanks to Andy G for this one.
Yeah.
Skeptical American public about taking the vaccine, and they should be.
We can't trust the president and take his word and take a vaccine that might cause harm to us.
If and when the vaccine comes, and it's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to be and the trials that are needed to be done.
Let's just say there's a vaccine that is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us.
When we finally do, God willing, get a vaccine, who's going to take the shot? Who's going to take the shot?
We will need to have access to the vaccine results so we can make our independent assessment to make sure that Donald Trump's fingerprints are not on it.
You can be the first one to say, sign me up. They now say it's okay.
Is the vaccine safe? Frankly, I'm not going to trust the federal government's opinion. And I wouldn't recommend to New Yorkers based on the federal government's opinion.
And the question of whether it's real when it's there, that requires enormous transparency.
Would you trust that vaccine?
There's very little that we can trust that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth.
We cannot take for granted this process will be free of political influence.
I don't trust the president, and I don't trust the FDA.
If Donald Trump can't give answers and the administration can't give answers to these 3 questions, the American people should not have confidence.
You're going to say to the American people now, here's a vaccine, it was new, it was done quickly, but trust this federal administration and their health administration that it's safe?
I will say that I would not trust Donald Trump.
How confident are you in the approval process of the FDA right now?
How confident am I? I'm not that confident.
Yes, I would be hesitant, but I'm going to ask a lot of questions.
You're going to need someone other than this FDA and this CDC saying it's safe.
You've got to make all of it available to other experts across the nation so they can look and see. So there's consensus, this is a safe vaccine.
What I'm worried about is that there's some sort of October surprise and that there is a pressure put on the decision makers here to announce a vaccine in October of 2020.
We're going to put together our own group of doctors and medical experts to review the vaccine and the efficacy and the protocol. And if they say it's safe, then I'll go to the people of New York and I will say it's safe.
But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Okay.
Well, that proves that's absolute rubbish because they're saying that they get their own CDC people. They're the same CDC people. It's the same test, the same things. That's going around. It's not just about Mr. T. It's going around the world. Everyone's trading their fees. Sorry, nearly. It's just all rubbish. They're saying they're getting their doctors. They're not. All their doctors didn't go and investigate because they don't know. It's down to the scientists who worked on it for the year or wherever, however long it took to bring it out. So that's absolute horse rubbish. That proves us political and it proves us for profit, not about saving lives or whatever. There you go. Yeah. That proves that they're themselves.
So now, folks, what I want to do, just to carry on from that for a minute, okay, is I have a document here, right? It's been pulled out from the Freedom of Information. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what it's about because it's a government document. Okay, and it's some people have obviously been able to get hold of it. Okay, but what I want to do is just take you back, and I'll just show you that I'm flicking to a fair way through the document, folks. Okay, it's an 82-page document. I can't, right? It's all stamped and approved and everything. I'm not going to show you what it is. Okay, it's a legitimate government document, and I just want to take you back to 4th of May 2020. So 4th of May 2020, we're 3 months into the pandemic. People are just starting to like panic a bit and carry on. And, we didn't have too much over here. We were still pretty safe at that time, Jamie, you know what I mean? Over here, isolated island, you know what I mean? They were playing the narrative, actually, and they were working on Europe and a few other places. But we had it here, okay, and we had effects of it, or this supposed, flu that they turned into this COV thing. So on the 4th of May, a journalist actually says, just picking up on what you said, and what I'm trying to do here is give you an idea that we have not changed one iota from where we were on the 4th of May 2020 to where we are now today, folks. Okay? Not change one fucking iota. Okay? And I will prove to you.
Places, that's all it's changed.
Yeah. So here it is. The journalist says, and these are court transcript documents, okay? The journalist says, just picking up what you said a minute ago about the easing of restrictions. I think you said that ultimately these are the decisions that will be taken by the states and territories, okay? That on Friday we'll get a framework, but ultimately states and territories decide. So does that mean that not all states and territories will start to ease their restrictions on Friday? So obviously we were in lockdown at this time in this 2020, and they'd started this is the big Melbourne lockdown, if I remember correctly, Jamie.
Yeah.
So Mr. ScoMo comes back with, well, I can't preempt decisions of Friday. The National Cabinet, particularly on these issues where the Commonwealth has no direct authority at all. So he's just saying here, he hasn't got any direct authority to do anything, okay? He's the Prime Minister. This is why these documents have been frigging sought out of the Freedom of Information Act, because someone's using these documents to do some stuff, okay? But he goes on to say, the Commonwealth Government has no direct authority at all. Our job here is to try and ensure as much consistency across state and territory jurisdictions as possible. And so what can you expect on Friday is that, again, we'll seek to have as consistent and national position as possible. So he's saying that he has no swing on it, he has no authority on it, but they'll try and have a consistent national position. Yeah, that says a lot to me. A consistent national position. Exactly. That means he wants every state thinking the same way, under the same fucking framework, right?
NWO.
Yeah, where the arbitrators or their own position. Okay, so national positions are possible. But ultimately, each state and territory are the arbiters of their own position.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt they will seek to do that in a consistent way as possible. Yeah. What a lot of bullshit.
Exactly.
I haven't even read far through this transcript, all right? I flicked it with my eyes and I found a couple of things that stood out to me. So then the journalist, right, quickly says, is there anything you can do as Prime Minister, leader of the nation, to put more pressure, right, on some states that perhaps not everyone agrees with the extent of their lockdown?
Yeah.
We're a federation, says the Prime Minister, at the end of the day. States have sovereignty over decisions that fall specifically within their domain. What a load of bullshit. We have a constitution that looks after Australia and Australia-wide, and it outweighs every frigging state policy that's ever been made. Simple as that.
Well, again, like you say about the constitution, these are laws what are in effect before these new laws.
Yeah.
This is why they're called mandates. That's what people don't get as well. They go, put your face diaper on because it's the law. No, it's a mandate. They're different. They're not gone through the court system the same. They're not been voted on the same.
Exactly.
And all that procedure. And this is what they do. It's just these people making decisions. And if you read up on the law, the previous laws that were in place done correctly in the proper manner, they override them. So there you go. Again, that's there. You go look at it. So, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was going to say she raised some good points, Nurse Jane.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, here she. Let's put a couple of hers up, Jamie, and I'll read them for you because I can probably see them better. SARS is a severe acute respiratory syndrome, a term that describes a condition a patient in the hospital may have related to their illness.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's the explanation for SARS. I never even knew that one. Thank you, Nurse Jane. You are a wealth of information, my dear. In other words, a person may have SARS due to that thing, C thing, or pneumonia, or COPD. Do you know what that is, Jamie? Yeah,
that's breathing, isn't it? That's where you can't.
Or lung cancer, etc. It is not a condition that exists on its own.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's Nurse Jane piping in with her, 40-odd years of experience in the nursing field. So, so look, folks, that document, I'm gonna peruse that document, and I'm gonna get Lisa to do the same thing actually over there in England, because she's actually brilliant, Jamie's wife, at having a look at this sort of stuff and working out what's going on.
She was saying what she's read it in the description what it is. She was saying to me, but I couldn't hear because of the fan. But chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder.
Okay, that's it. Okay, yeah, no worries. Okay, so folks, what this here was about, okay, was to give you a bit of information, right? Because I've been copping flack here, we put up information every week, man. Every time I do a live, we go to the trouble of, referring to who we are, who we've come from, giving you the link to go and have a look for yourself. Okay. I can't do everything for you folks. You know what I mean? I seriously can't. You know what I mean? But what I can do is sit here and have an opinion. Now, we're going to go to Lisa's. Jamie, can you bring up Lisa's Facebook and read that, or you can't where you are sitting at this present time?
I don't think I can from here. I don't.
Okay. No, I'll get it up on here. I'll get it up on my phone. So take it away for a minute, Jamie, just while I
can't even do everything myself. Yeah. I mean, that's all you've got to do, like the Event 201, going back to that. I mean, you watch that. That's good research because it's called rehearsal. And you'll see the playbook. You'll see that they say that they'll control the media of what gets put out to control the public. They tell you that. They say about, the public being against each other, fighting in the streets. That didn't happen straight away, so they used other tactics, i.e. you notice how coincidental the timing of the BLM. Now, I'm not saying that they were behind it personally, but things were pushed at certain degrees, at certain circumstances to make that happen, to cause the conflict and cause the issues in the streets. Again, people out in crowds to cause more conflict and etc. What have I got to do is to hold this up, Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, I can read.
Oh, you can read that? Okay, thanks. I've just found something else of Lisa's that we're going to use. So you do that one there, Jamie. This is just something that Lisa put out, and I think everyone should listen to this because I think it's been very well written. And have a listen to what Jamie's about. We'll give Jamie the. How do we do that one?
I'll try and do it without saying words.
Hang on.
Right.
Hang on.
This is what was put. This is never going to end. This is never going away. You got jabbed, yet are not all protected from the bat. You were jabbed against the majority of hospitalizations worldwide are currently from the double jab. Masks. Lisa's going to take over. I'm reading it slowly on purpose. I won't
You're getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Right. This is never going to end. This is never going away. You shot, yet you're not protected from the bat thing. You were injected against. The majority of hospitalizations worldwide are currently from the double shot. Face diaper mandates are being reintroduced around the world even if you are shot. Lockdowns are being reimposed in countries around the world. They are now saying no shot, no job, or no shot, no school in many countries, despite the fact the shot has not achieved a damn thing. And the people who have had the shot are the majority of cases and hospitalizations. Yet the governments and the media continue to push the narrative that it's the people who are not shot who are to blame, when in reality, less people are getting ill in that camp. And that's not a conspiracy, that's a fact when you look at the worldwide statistics. By making the people who got shot blame those who choose not to, they're again deflecting and getting us to hate on each other instead of stopping for just 1 second to think who the real enemy of the people is. Them. They have introduced shot passports in the dead of night in the UK and plan to not allow people who have had this ridiculously ineffective shot to enter any venues soon. This will be shops and workplaces or anywhere, which is absolutely disgusting and shame on anyone who supports this. They're beginning to introduce laws in which children can now be shot without parental consent. This is complete and utter madness, and what fucked up reality is this bullshit okay, people? Seriously. In Australia, they have helicopters flying over children playing, telling them that they are not allowed outside to exercise and must be wearing a mask outside in the fresh air. And because they are not masked and playing outside, the police are on their way to arrest them, terrifying these poor children. Even prisoners serving life sentences for the most heinous crimes are allowed to exercise, but not our children. Yeah. And now they are planning ahead on what to name all of the future variants when the 24 Greek letters run out. There's an infinite amount of fucking stars, folks. When the fuck will people realise that this is all bullshit? COVID is, oh my God, I've done it. COVID is not going away ever. That's the reality of the world we live in. Except right now, we are not living because we are not being allowed to. We need to live with it, otherwise we are not living at all. Hiding in your homes in fear and complying with this never-ending bullshit is no life at all. Once you have no freedom, you have nothing. And frankly, the more you give up, the more these wankers will keep taking from you until you have nothing left to give. If lockdowns, face diapers and shots worked, these wankers would not be planning years in advance what they're going to call all the variants once they run out of the Greek alphabet. Wake the fuck up.
Exactly. And that proves that. I mean, these people say, oh, well, it would be all over if you lot took it and joined the club.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wouldn't, because, look, you've took it, you've done all your actions, we're not taking it. Who the hell are we going to spread it to? Each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're assuming that we've got it. Well, I haven't got shown no symptoms. Yeah, you might be carrying it. You know, all that rubbish. But we can go on with. I mean, they're more conspiracy theorists than what we're talking about.
Well, we're running out of conspiracy theories, Jamie, because they're all coming true, mate. Every single one of them.
We've proved a few in the last few months.
We have, haven't we? So look at this, folks. John Hopkins. Okay, if you want to know about some of the most corrupt friggin' people in the world, John Hopkins University. Okay. World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization. I'd say that one over there is what the B. I can't really tell what that is on my screen, but yeah, it'll be another like totally fraudulent. Okay, and that's what these companies are, mate. John Hopkins, you know, these are all funded by the cabal and the deep state, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Soroses. Okay, this is bullshit. But this is just talking about our Greek alphabet, and here it is, folks. Okay. So here they are, okay, the Delta June, July, we got the Expilion, okay.
Epsilon, yeah.
Epsilon, then we got the Zeta, then we got the Eta, then we got the Theta, then the Lota, then the Kappa, then the Lambda, okay. And they're bringing these through a little bit quicker, are they, or what? What's going on here? Are they talking about that Lambda one already, and this is 2022, they were to be bringing it out?
This was their original plan. They've changed.
That was the original plan. They've changed it.
Yeah, they've had to bring it all forward. Yeah, so we can step all this stuff up the line, folks, if you understand what we're saying. Because, yeah, like I've said before, this wasn't supposed to take effect until 2023. But they've had to jump in early and start this playbook because they were in trouble. Okay.
Well, and China also announced as well that they're going to ramp it up because they were going for 2030 and they changed it to 2025. I think their plan.
Yeah, and there's a lot more than that. You know, people, you don't know about the history of the United States, the bankruptcies, the yellow surround on the flag that's been removed now, and there's a lot of stuff that you don't know because you don't research. Okay, so you are not going to know. You know what you have been told by history.
then people who say, "Oh, is your research just getting off of Twitter?" Yeah, all right, we do use a lot of them sort of social medias, but that's not the original source. That's unfortunately the places you can get it from now. But we've seen it in original sources most often, and sometimes we do. We don't just go on these other social media sites and nab anything. We double check it. We go find the original sources. So again, a lot of it is in newspapers, like when Lisa covered some other sort of lies that the government was saying. We go to newspapers, they're there.
Yeah,
it was written there then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry, I just want to get that across, because a lot of people say, "Is your research just purely going onto Twitter?" Well, no, it's not.
No,
in fact, I ain't used Twitter for about a year now because how they are.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what we try and do, folks, is we try and, look, we do use people like Mike Adams and that, because we know these guys are telling the truth, you know what I mean? But you'll find what Mike Adams puts out, a couple of other people that will be in the know will confirm it for you. But I can guarantee you there's nothing on Natural News at Mike Adams that you need to confirm, folks, okay? The guy is on the money, okay? Alex Jones, another one. Alex Jones has put some stuff out there. If you don't know who he is, he done a emergency broadcast on Saturday, folks, right? He had David Icke on there with him and some other people. And, he's a bit of a, But what the thing was, they were just laying everything out, Jamie, you know what I mean, and showing exactly.
Yeah, I actually quite like David. Like people have criticised him before, and he has been a bit random in most cases. But if you go back and listen to his films and that in the 90s and these programs, and he even went on chat shows and proved them wrong. So you're all laughing at me then, you're not laughing at me now.
You're not laughing now.
Exactly. And going to Mike Adams, he's got his own lab and everything, so he does all the testing himself, so he knows within reason. No one can be always exactly right, especially when you ain't got access to the sort of stuff these other people have got, but we can say with a great certainty. And even Alex Jones, I'm not too fond of Alex personally, but again, everyone called him crazy, and he's been proven to be right. Even people who don't particularly like him have had to admit, he's been right on this occasion, or more than one occasion.
No, that's right. Look, we all know the big game plan. If you can't see the big game plan now, folks, there is definitely something wrong. So, Ali, that put up just about that document. I think it was up here a little bit further. Then she wanted to get hold of it, but I think someone's about to give it to her, which is just that. Yeah, she's asked where can she find this list of dates be found, but it will probably be in the comments, or someone sent it over to her, I think, by now, by the look of that. So, all right, folks, so final thoughts, Jamie, on a show where we're just trying to give you a little bit of information for you to go and have a look, okay? Don't believe, you don't have to believe Jamie and I and Lisa, okay? What we're doing is giving you our opinion, and we're putting information out here for you to go and double-check, folks. So, Jamie, well, to finish up, what would you like to have to say?
Like I say, we get criticised for what we're saying and going against it. We apparently can't have an opinion, but that everyone else can. They always approach us, well, where's your evidence? Well, we're always doing it, right? But you can come and criticise us, and you don't bring your evidence. You never bring your evidence. And we've actually offered a lot of people to see the evidence. We've offered people videos, documents, official documents, not just mumbo jumbo. And people say, I ain't got time for that. I don't want to.
I haven't got time to read that.
I just want go do what we've gone and done, so we can go and get on with normality and get on with our life. That's not going to happen. Nothing's never going to be the same again.
Exactly. And a quick example for you folks, just on my closing thoughts, is this is what I want you to think about, okay? We have been told, so our government has not changed its position. I just read you a document there from May 2020, okay? It is now August 2021, okay? The government has not changed its stance in over 14 months. It is still saying that it doesn't have the authority to do anything. It's up to the states, okay? Yet they're mandating laws left, right, and centre. They're fining us. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're locking us in. I don't know how much it's going to take for you folks to actually go, I've had enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going to
Yeah.
realise when it's too late, and that's what we're preventing. We're not trying to achieve nothing here apart from just getting advice out and get our point of view out and show that we do know we're not a bunch of loonies. We do know what we're talking about, and
certainly. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, again, folks, right? We are where we are, the same as we were over 14 months ago. Okay, the government has no idea. Okay, they are under CCP control. Okay, I can tell you that this will probably get me into trouble. You know, ScoMo's a Freemason. Okay, Daniel Andrews is a Freemason. Okay, they're your two main ones. Gladys Berejiklian, and I don't know what's going on with her, but like, no idea. Should not be in the job. Okay, our politicians down here, like I said to you, we need to get on to Ryan Park here in Corrimal, folks, and we need to be pounding his email. Okay, especially about this bill for the no mandated passports. Okay, we need to be whacking him. Okay, and telling him. So there's certain stuff that I'm allowed to tell you that you can do on here, folks. And as you know, or some of you may know or not know, I get a little bit of police harassment around here, and I had the detectives on my door yesterday. So I've been told that I need to work within the confines of their so-called mandated laws. Okay, so I'm just being very careful about what I am saying on here because I feel that I need to stay on here. As you can see, they have closed down my Facebook pages. We've gone the back door tonight to get in. We've got YouTube and Float Up. We've had to go through Mel's page to share out onto my pages because we can't access them through the front door. Now, you know, seriously, folks, like just little old me in Corrimal, what are they so scared about? You know, why have I got police 1 week, detectives the next week knocking on my door trying to like intimidate me? And
what you got achieved by saying these things, you know, apart from
except for persecution. You know, I could shut up, Jamie. I could pull my fucking head in right now, go and buy myself a ticket to America, okay, with my wife, okay, jump on a plane and get the hell out of here and go over there and live with some rednecks for the next 12 months or 18 months or 2 years or whatever time it's going to take for this bullshit to be sorted out, okay, run away and be safe over there with a heap of my American friends that I've made through this show, okay, and know that I would be looked after. Okay, but where am I? I'm sitting here in Australia fighting for what my frigging grandfather fought for, which was the freedom of this country, okay? At 17-year-old, he jumped on a boat and went to fucking Egypt, okay, and was a rat at your book. His 15-year-old brother, George, okay, lied about his age to get on that boat and go with his brother Douglas to Egypt. And guess what? They actually met up over there. How's that?
Random, yeah.
Okay, hey, fought together. Hey, Jamie, and both of them come home, mate.
Yeah.
Both of them come home, bro. So if you think that I am going to sit by, okay, and just let this fucking tyrannical government take what I, know that my grandparents and everybody else, all you wogs in this country, man, you fought with us, okay? And I tell you, you guys now up in Western Sydney and that, man, you guys are standing up, man. I'm talking to Lebos and that all the time on work sites and that, mate, and I'm telling you, you guys have got the balls, man, okay? So we need to be standing up. Okay, I can't say too much more than that. All I'm saying is you need to, be a voice. And voice your opinion. I've been told we are allowed to voice our opinion. Okay, so voice your fucking opinion, people. Okay?
Yeah, and do your research.
And do your research, yeah. Quite simple.
And listen,
okay?
Proven liars. These people are proven. Yeah. The media's lied so many times. You've all had news stories of that. Government lied throughout history. You've seen that. You've been proven time and time again. You're not idiots.
Turn your television off. Yeah. Turn off your television.
Or compare or analyse what they're saying and actually go find out what they said 6 months ago, and you'll find as we saw in the video earlier, it's totally different.
So to reiterate what I've said 3 times today, I think on 2 different lives, and I'm going to finish with it right now. Okay, you think that you've seen film clips and they're going that they will have this rolled out by the end of the year. They're giving it to the military. By September, they'll have all the old people jabbed. By the end of the year, they hope to have the major percentage of the population jabbed. Okay, yeah. So if that's right, we just saw in the comments a minute ago how many friggin' doses they've actually ordered of Moderna now. You know, they've ordered X amount of million doses of Pfizer. Now we got Moderna coming in. We've still got AstraZeneca sitting here. You know, what do we need all this for? And we've only got 25 million people for a start. But my point is, people, if we are going to have this vaccine rolled out by the end of the year, why at our new hub that opens tomorrow, folks, okay, at DJ's, the old DJ's in Wollongong, why have we got people getting employment in there and signing 2-year contracts?
Yeah.
Have a think about it, folks.
Yeah,
they're going to have it rolled out by the end of the year, but people are signing up on a 2-year work contract. Have a fucking think about it.
Exactly. It's plain there. You've just got to sort of analyze it. Use your common sense. You don't have to be a rocket scientist or a scientist or whatever. You just got to read between the lines, analyze everything, and you'll find. And Australia is really getting hit hard, and we've seen it, and we knew it was coming, kind of, because we saw it in here in the UK, and vice versa. We see these things play out for each, so it was like we warn each other, heads up, look what's happening here, it's going to happen, and it does, and that's why we're trying to warn you now, and so you can sort it out and stop it from getting even worse. Because I mean, you're taking a real hard hit all of a sudden in Australia over a really minimal amount of deaths, so that should tell you that it's just not.
We've had minimal deaths, but we haven't had minimal deaths from that friggin' miracle jab, Jamie. That's piling up, brother.
Yeah, I meant from the actual thing.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I'm just letting the viewers know. Yeah. Just have a look at the death toll from that other friggin' thing, mate.
You compare that, it tells you. It's just there. It's the information there, and it's on their websites, and so there you go. Yeah. Anyway,
Any questions, folks? You've put a few in. Thank you. I'm starting to work this out a little bit more, and I'm sorry if previous times I haven't been as interactive with the audience and that, but it's pretty daunting. It's not daunting for me to come on here. I can public speak all day, but Jamie will tell you that it's pretty daunting to sit here and have hold of all these controls, what's operating the show when you are a friggin' dingbat.
When I took over one night from Lisa for a moment, and I had to put up banners and things like that. It's like it's a juggling trick. You got to put banners up, put the right one on. When you change the screens, putting other people in, you're looking at the private chat, the comments and things like that. It's a lot to do, and you got to make sure it's all working okay.
But we're starting to get better at it, folks, I think, and it's very good. Thank you again. Mel put up a thing, but thanks, Jamie, for coming in. Thanks, Lisa. Without you guys, mate, I mean, we're all a team, we all work together for the American show, and we all do what we got to do.
We're all just trying to work together to get this.
And as I say, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this when I got police knocking on my door every second day? You think I'd just give up and throw it away, folks, but sorry, I can't.
We're actually trying to do this because we're trying to get to a normality, but not this new normal rubbish. No. We're trying to get to the normal we were living a while ago.
The old normal where you caught the flu, you build an immunity from the God-given immunity that you were given in your body to fight off germs. And that's how we get over things, folks. Not from miracle mRNA jabs in our arms, okay, changing our friggin' biology and all the rest of it. Not on. No. So anyway, we've given you our opinion again. Thank you, Jamie, from
thank you very much.
And Lisa from Great Britain. And thank you, Craig, for coming in again. Condolences, Craig, to your mate and your mate's family. Government, if you're listening to this, which I know you police are watching this anyway, okay, you detectives. So there's a little challenge for you detectives, mate. Have a look at some statistics, guys, and tell me if what you and your police force out there are doing that you can actually justify as being right, okay, on the community. When we have something like that, 184% rise, okay, in attempted suicides in our youth only, you guys need to have a look at your fucking job, mate.
There's something going wrong.
Yeah, something's going fucking desperately wrong, okay? Have a look at your job. Have a look at you. You are employed by the Crown, okay, by the Commonwealth. Look, I know you aren't. Actually, you're employed by a corporation, but guess what? In a bullshit fucking ceremony, you pledge your allegiance to us people,
Well, that's it. That's why they're supposed to vote for them. They're supposed to work and serve the public, but they don't.
Yeah. So start serving the public. All right. Stop knocking on people's doors who are just having an opinion. I'm playing within your confines now, guys. Okay. I'm within your rules. Okay. So I don't want to see you at my front doorstep anymore. Okay. You just need to do what you need to do. And what you need to do is have a look at the fucking amount of suicides we've got from having this stinking lockdown. Okay. The amount of people that are losing their homes through mortgages, the amount of small businesses. And I know you're meaning to do it. All right, your government is meaning to do it. It's their playbook. But why are you guys being a frigging part of it? Why? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself on that day you took that fucking oath to be a policeman, what was going through your fucking head that day? What was it? And I bet you it wasn't, I'm taking this job so I can fucking turn on the people of Australia and be an arsehole.
12-year-old girl died today by suicide.
Yeah, there you go. Mel's just give me another one. Another 12-year-old girl by suicide today.
See?
You know, you fucking kidding me? Come and lock me up, guys, but you're not going to shut me up, okay? You won't shut me up from a jail cell. I'll be fucking yelling at you all night, yelling out statistics.
That's right.
Simple as that. Yeah, they're all up here. I don't need a fucking phone for them, I can tell you. Anyway, thank you, people. Sorry to get on a bit of a rant there, but yeah, I'm a bit pissed now. That's just done me up. So thank you. Right, we thank everyone for joining in. Don't remember, we have Real Deal Media. We have America at War. We have Find Your Own Truth. Okay, you'll find all those Facebook and YouTube channels. Okay, we are now broadcasting on Float, YouTube, Float, Kangaroo, YouTube, Guru TV, Land Down Under, and Facebook. We will be going back at some stage whenever I get out of Fakebook jail to Kangaroo or Stop the Rot. Who knows? That one, yeah, that's a lucky dip.
We don't know what we're going to go on to until like 5 minutes before the show.
5 minutes before the show, people. We're still trying to get in the back door to get the show out on some pages. So, yeah, there you go. That's what we're fighting against every day. Okay, thanks, folks. So, yeah, good night. We'll talk to you soon. I hope everyone has a great week. Hope all you tradies are back at work. Okay. I hope they're going to let you out of that LGA up there in Sydney without getting a stinking jab in your arm because, boys, don't do it. Okay? Stand in numbers, okay, and don't do it. I've got some stuff here about, you know, how you can do it through your doctor. Okay? It's very simple, boys. It's stress. They got you under stress and duress, okay? And if you follow the procedures, which I can give you, okay, which is not illegal, folks, okay? It's a procedural thing that you would go through with your doctor to prolong and then stop you having this miracle, okay? Because they are going to push these false mandates and suck you in as much as they can, man, to get you jabbed, okay? But the truth is out there, folks. So good night. Thank you from me and Jamie and Craig and Lisa and Mel in the background there. Yeah, God bless everyone. Have a great week.